It's a new year, a new season, and we are underway.
Really dominating fashion here today is going to win.
2, 3, 4 for the final time.
Win number 1 of the season, only just barely.
He is going to win here at the Nazareth Speedway.
Wins the Emerson Electric 100K.
Gonna be Igor Barretto's gonna eke it out.
Cup Series champion is Shane Lake in the number 15.
Welcome to the NOFSRL.
The season continues here in the 2021 NOFSRL Carquest Indy Racing League. We make the trip to the Northeast this week for race number 2 of 16 here at the Lime Rock Park in Lakeville, Connecticut. This is the Grand Prix of New England. 30 gonna go around this 1.5 mile road course for 27 laps, and only one driver will win. But we had a thriller last week to open up the season at Pikes Peak with the outside pole sitter there in the number 10 for this race. Ethan Farley took the dub, and he's got a good chance out there on the front row, albeit on the left side, but still starting on the front row. He could have a good shot to go back-to-back, starting alongside Braden Perez. We'll just have to see what happens. I'm not alone for this one. I am joined alongside Chase Harris. And Chase, you have some experience here at Lime Rock, my man. You won the Grand Prix of Lime Rock in the Haas IndyCar Series. What do these guys have to do today to get up there and win this race?
To get up there, you have to be up there. And by that, I mean you have to start up front. Either pole, second, third, fourth, any of those top 2 rows, I think, could win. Everybody else, it's going to be a long shot.
Absolutely, and this is a track that is notoriously hard to pass on, but that's not to say you can't do it. These first set of corners before you go off into the S's and the final 3 corners, really. The final 3 corners are a bear to try to pass at, but these first few turns you can pass pretty well. So, do you think that, I know you passed in those final 3 corners where we know is the most difficult place to pass here at Lime Rock Park, but you somehow made it work on your teammate last year. Do you think anyone could make that work, or do you think they're going to have to rely on the first few turns there?
I think he's definitely have to rely on the first few turns. That was just a really lucky move that I had last year. So I think the first few turns, that's where you got to make the pass. Anywhere else, it's extremely difficult unless you catch him on a big mistake.
Absolutely, and the big mistakes, we've seen it before. That tire barrier in the middle of the final 2 corners, that is treacherous, and if anyone goes off, it will catch you and bite you and ruin your race. We'll just have to see what happens here as the field rolls off here at the Lime Rock Park. 30, again, count them, 30 rolling off on the grid. Braden Perez starting on the pole position back after his terrible crash at Pikes Peak with Benny Watson. He'll start alongside defending winner Ethan Farley. In the second row, it's Daniel Bouchard in the 88, starting alongside the 26 of Trey Smith. In row 3, we find Derek Hamill in the 30, alongside the 45 of Jackson Harrison. In row 4, we find the 55 of Christian Vargas, alongside the 50 of Samit Oskin. Rounding out the top 10 here in the Grand Prix of New England is the 20 of Trey Wright and the 27 of Landon Smith Jr. So, as the field continues to pace here before we start this Grand Prix of New England, Chase, do you have any of these guys up here that you think you might see as favorites to win this race?
I feel like you gotta be in those first two rows. So, I think Ethan Farley, of course, you know, he obviously had a good start to the season. So, I think he could be the best opportunity here today.
Absolutely, and Farley already coming in with strong momentum. Braden Perez trying to rebound from a savage mishap at Pikes Peak when he and Benny Watson got hung together and he flew basically like directly up into the catch fencing. But good grief, it's good to have him back here, and thank goodness we don't have any injuries or deaths in these series here in the NOFSRL, because he would probably not be back this week. But since we don't do that, he is back behind the wheel of that 22, and he's going to lead the field down to the green flag here at the Lime Rock Park as the pace car's gone off, ready for that flag to fly. The calm before the storm. It's over. The Grand Prix of New England gets the green flag. We're racing at the Lime Rock Park. Coming around to complete lap number 1, it is the 22 of Braden Perez leading ahead of Ethan Farley, Daniel Bouchard in 3rd, Trey Smith in 4th, and Derek Hamill rounding out the top 5. And a heated battle going on here for 6th with Christian Vargas and Landon Smith Jr. Smith Jr. tried to get down. Oh, one off. I believe that was Hamill. And yes, it was. Derek Hamill off and into the end of the guardrail there, and he is going to be out of this race more than likely. How about this going through the S's? 3 wide. And it looks like Arthur Xavier is going to stretch away from that one. Oh, and Miles and Trey Wright around. And this is going to take some out for sure. Everyone getting slowed up, though. And a lot of credit to them for doing so. And more, they're not done yet. They're trying to get on the pit road versus trying to stay out on the track. And, oh goodness, they're not done yet. A messy start here at Lime Rock Park, deep in the field. But we'll check back in up to the lead here, as I believe Ethan Farley has benefit. Yes, he has. He is in the lead here in the Grand Prix of New England.
Crazy start, wrecks everywhere, cars everywhere, lane right now. Ethan Farley, as I said, he was my pre-race pick, and right now he's doing it, and I see more issues with the 9.
Logan Williams in the 9 there, running into the end of the wall there. He may have lost steering in that number 9. 1 still scraping along that wall. I believe that is the 15 of Scott Upton. And yes, it is Scott Upton. So he is stuck. He is still stuck there on the wall, trying to get back going. But back to the race lead here. Bouchard is trying to run down Farley here, and he is closing in. Off into the turn, he took off 3/10 that lap. So Bouchard, could he catch up to him in the right time to make the move around these turns here? Or will he catch him in the later portion of the track? Farley gets a little bit off there and gets off into the dirt. Bouchard does not. So he is more than likely going to close in a little bit more. Never mind, he went wide there in that turn. So just as Farley makes a mistake, Bouchard makes a mistake too. And there's Logan Williams on the inside there. Everyone's going to get around for now, and Logan is going to make it around to the pit end. And looks like Scott Upton finally got going there in the 15. so shouldn't have to worry about him right now. But Trey Smith has gotten in front of Daniel Bouchard there in the 88 for the second position, and now is going to try to chase down the 10 of Ethan Farley, who's trying to go back-to-back to open the Carquest Indy Racing League.
It's Farley a little wide, so that allowed the 26 to close in. Trey Smith still not close enough to make a pass, but if Ethan Farley makes another mistake, I do think Trey Smith will be right there in order to make that pass for the lead.
And I thought it was Hamill off the start that it went off and got the guardrail, but it was not. He was still out there on the track in the 4th position. It might have actually been Braden Perez in the 22 that I saw, which could explain the fact that Perez is not up there leading this thing, because he started on the pole. And hence why Ethan Farley is in the lead right now. But rounding these final 2 turns, Farley is trying to hold on to the lead, but Trey Smith closing in that 26. A good exit for both out of that final turn, and a little bit of contact there coming out of the final corner. Hamill and Landon Smith Jr. got together there. They locked wheels for a second. How in the world are they even still going?
No idea. You definitely don't want to touch wheels in IndyCar, because we know how that can turn out. So good thing they're still going, because that was a great battle back there. But I'm telling you what, Trey Smith is really there on Ethan Farley. I think he'll be able to make the pass here soon.
Of course, hopefully we'll have pit cycles in this race as well. We've tried this once already, and they didn't have pit cycles. So hopefully this time there will at least be a little bit of pit strategy as well. And with the pit strategy here, do you want to undercut the pit? Do you want to overcut the pit? Or do you want to come in with the whole load of everyone else kind of right in the middle of the cycle? What do you think is the best way to work pit strategy here on this road course?
Well, as you can see, Trey Smith right here really on the back of Ethan Farley. But I really think you just want to pit with the majority if you're up front. But if you're in the back, I would try maybe under pitting or over pitting, trying to get those advantages on the lead cars.
Absolutely, and we'll just have to see what kind of strategies get cooked up here. But I'm really impressed with Trey Smith right now, right on the back side of Ethan Farley there. I did not expect that Smith would close it up on him as quickly as he has. And they've even gapped Daniel Bouchard to a 2-second gap there. Oh, Smith tried there going into that turn. Farley went a little bit wide there, but will stay behind the 10. Will he be able to make a move this time? He will not. So Farley will hold on to the lead for now. But Trey Smith going to try to rebound. He slipped a little bit further there. And it is, well, he might close back on him there because Farley ran that turn a little too wide.
He goes into turn 1 here, and you can see just a great battle between the 10 and the 26 here, Ethan Farley and Trey Smith. And I'm telling you, as we said earlier, this track is so hard to pass at, and that's kind of why Trey Smith has not gotten by him yet. But if he can find a way to make the pass, I do think Trey will get past him and maybe even pull away, but he can't keep making mistakes on that turn right there.
He just did it again. He kicked up the dirt, and Farley did not. So, we'll see what the exit of this final turn looks like. Definitely looked worse for Farley. And, well, the gap grew, but that was due to the earlier corners. So we'll see if Trey Smith can rebound and then close back in on the 10 to the margin he had just a few laps ago. It was very close. Meanwhile, Christian Vargas is trying to hunt down Daniel Bouchard. And even back in 5th, he's not battling with anyone, but Landon Smith Jr. started up front, still inside the top 5. Good run for this 27 so far. As we'll check back in up front, here comes Trey Smith trying to close back in on Ethan Farley.
Went a little wide off that final corner there, we all saw it, so that really allowed Trey Smith to close the gap. And I do think Trey Smith will have an opportunity, maybe not on this lap, but on the next lap.
That is if he doesn't make another mistake. Oh, Farley did. That's going to allow Trey Smith to close. Maybe this time. Here he comes. He pokes out. They're going to be side by side coming around this turn. Farley goes a little wide, but he'll stretch back ahead. And Trey Smith right there on the back wing through the final 2 corners. But Smith is going to slip a little there, and Farley's going to pull ahead. But that looked like a better exit for Farley, so that could even allow, if with them doing that, that actually slowed them up, because look where Daniel Bouchard is now. Bouchard is now, he's about to make it a 3-car battle here if these two keep it up.
This is great, and Farley goes off again right there, and you can see Trey Smith going to close in once again, but as you said, Daniel Bouchard is right there as well. These two make a mistake or get into each other, Daniel Bouchard is going to take the lead.
They could very well do it, but they're not going to do it this time. They're not close enough to make that happen. Farley will continue to lead here at Lime Rock Park, as now just past halfway, 13 laps to go in the Grand Prix of New England. Things are heating up now. Will they come down onto the pit road, or will they have to go to the end? And who is going to win this? We're starting to see the favored 3, Farley, Smith, and Bouchard. The top 3 right now, and the gap back to Landon Smith Jr., 5.71 seconds from the lead, and looked like both of the front 2 messed up, especially Trey Smith. Will that allow Daniel Bouchard to close in? Bouchard didn't capitalize on the opportunity, though. It may have just been it was at the wrong part of the racetrack.
That was just a overall wild lap there. Farley made mistakes, Trey Smith made mistakes, and Bouchard could not pass. So these top 3 are under a blanket right now. If any one of them can pass each other, I think things are going to get a little wild.
Oh, good corner there for both of them. So they'll stay just about the same. Farley through this turn. Oh, a little wide there, but Trey Smith went wider. And Daniel Bouchard slipping a little bit there in that 88. So Farley will take advantage and slip away. Again, he is trying to win back-to-back here in the Carquest Indy Racing League with now 11 laps to go. I don't think anybody else besides these 3 is going to have a shot at getting the win, as, oh my goodness, Landon Smith Jr., 4th place, has just slammed the inside wall on the front straightaway, and that will be it for the driver of that 27. He's going to be done for sure here in the Grand Prix of New England, hopelessly out of contention now. Trey Smith went wide, though. Here comes Bouchard on the inside of the final corner. And Bouchard's going to slingshot by for 2nd place. And now going to try to chase down Ethan Farley. 10 laps to go.
If you're Trey Smith, you cannot make that mistake. You know Daniel Bouchard's going to try to fill up that mirror and make you make a mistake. And he did it right there to Trey Smith. And I really do feel bad for Trey, but at the same time, you got to know that you can't make mistakes like that. But Bouchard went off a little bit there, so Trey Smith might be able to close back in.
And even further, that's going to allow Ethan Farley to pull away. But, oh, Daniel Bouchard got a better exit off of that corner that time than Farley did. We'll see what Farley does for this corner here. Oh, he's going to come out of the pit road. Bouchard and Smith stay out. A horrible exit for Daniel Bouchard. Trey Smith back to the lead here at Lime Rock Park. 9 laps to go.
I don't know about you, but this is an incredible race that we're witnessing here between these top 3. And of course, Farley just went down pit road. Now it's between Trey Smith and Daniel Bouchard. But at this point, I'm thinking it's between these 2 for the win, because Farley pitted still. That's relatively early to pit. So at this point, I think it could be between these top 2 right here, the 26 and the 88.
Oh, but a bunch more came down, though, so I have it in my head that I think Trey Smith and Daniel Bouchard are going to come down this time. And Trey Smith will Bouchard? Yes, he will. How about the 21 here, Roberto Crown Jr.? Or even the 1, BB Ruiz, and I think everyone else is going to come down here and pit. Well, no, I take it back. Nathan Smith in the 7 stayed out, and so did the 59 of Daisy Johnson. Well, they're going to try the overcut.
Yeah.
as looks like the 14 of Lewis may have gone off a bit there in that set of corners there, but he will come down onto the pit road. Farley is on his way back around. Bouchard and Smith are still not off the pit road, and Farley is just barely going to jump them. Trey Smith right there coming off of the pit road. Farley right in front of him on the edge of the track, almost went off.
It's between the two for the winner here, Ethan Farley and Trey Smith, because Trey Smith is still there. Daniel Bouchard, he has an opportunity. Oh, but you see Trey Smith go wide. Bouchard has an opportunity, but at this point, I don't know. It's going to be between the top two, I think.
Yeah, I think Bouchard had too slow of a pit stop for him to have a chance now. Trey Smith is going to try everything he can now. Farley has not been perfect going around this track, but again, neither has Trey Smith. They both looked like they had a perfect exit there off the final turn, and now around for 7 laps to go. Farley on the lower line, now back up to the top. Smith's going to take a little bit of a lower line there, so he could close in as Lewis, as he's a lap down car, I think. Yeah, he is lap car. So he just came off the pit road, and that's going to hold up Bouchard even more as Smith hits the wall. And you know what? I think that's going to do it. I think if Farley doesn't make any more mistakes here, I think that's going to do it here at Lime Rock. I know we've got 6 laps to go this time, but in 6 laps, given what we've seen in this race, that's a lot of ground to make up.
Yeah. However, we have seen a lot of cars go wide, and we've seen accidents, so I would not get too comfortable if I'm Ethan Farley, because one mistake, Trey Smith is right there again.
And Trey Smith just went off in the dirt again, so speaking of mistakes, Farley got a good exit there, and Smith did not, so Smith is not getting good feeling out of that 26 now, but Farley is getting excellent feeling out of the 10 right now. But in these final 5 laps, will he be able to hold on to it? Looks like Smith has the exit of that final corner all hammered out. So he's got that sorted out, but is it going to be enough to chase down the 10 of Ethan Farley, who is now 2.18 seconds ahead of the 26?
At this point, I don't see it happening. I think Ethan Farley's got this thing won. Now again, as I said, he could make a mistake, but he made a little one right there, and Trey Smith made a bigger one. So at this point, Trey Smith is pushing his car to the max, and it's not working out for him at all right now, and Bouchard's being held up at the moment.
Bouchard 5.82 seconds behind Ethan Farley. Smith looks like he might be closing in just a little bit, and I say just a little bit, 4/100. So yeah, just a little bit, but he did close in, but he's got to close in a lot quicker than that if he wants to get up there and catch Ethan Farley.
No doubt. I mean, 4/100 is not going to do anything or closing in Ethan Farley, so, and that was a perfect entry. But Gotham did really good right there, so I think overall these both drivers are driving really well right now, but Ethan Farley is currently in the better position at the moment.
Down the longer straightaway, though, it could be possible that Smith sniffs a little bit of draft there, and half a second out the window. Trey Smith closed in half a second there on Ethan Farley. Now with 3 laps to go, though, if he could do that 2 more times, he'd be right there on the back wing. But is it going to be enough? They're both driving really well here. Farley goes wide, almost hits the guardrail, and Smith a perfect exit through that turn. So Farley now is making mistakes here at Lime Rock. Will that allow Trey Smith to close in? Will Trey Smith make any mistakes himself? 2 laps to go here at the Grand Prix of New England.
So you could see Farley, if he would have gotten in the wall, that would have been race over. So he is lucky he did not get in the wall. He was inches from that wall, so Trey Smith still has an opportunity with the mistakes that Ethan Farley's been making these past few laps here, so do not count Trey Smith out of this one just yet.
Well, he ended up losing 3/10 anyway, even with Farley's mistake. So it looks like Farley just made it again. So we'll see what it looks like this time by. But I think, with everything considered now, I think Farley's just got to cruise it around one more time this time by as the white flag comes out. Final lap at Lime Rock Park. 4/10 off the time, but I think it's all too late. Too little too late for Trey Smith. And Farley looks like he's going to cruise around and go back-to-back here as he goes off into the grass. I don't even know if it's going to matter now.
Oh, it's going to be so tight. If Farley makes a mistake right here, Smith have an opportunity. It's not going to be enough. Smith actually makes a mistake there. So, yeah, this is Ethan Farley's race here, and he's going to come around and win this race.
Ethan Farley won at Pikes Peak. He's going to go back-to-back to start the Carquest Indy Racing League. Farley wins the Grand Prix of New England here at the Lime Rock Park.
Who would have thought? First 2 races of the season and you win both of them. That's a heck of a start for Ethan Farley for sure. Trey Smith gave it his all, but just was unable to get to the 10. Made some mistakes there late, and that pretty much sealed the deal there.
You know what? It worked out for him after all. Ethan Farley, we saw overrun that turn and almost hit the guardrail, but even with that, I didn't mention it immediately, or we didn't mention it immediately, but 1.63 the lap before. The time they went by was 1.66, and honestly, that was with 3 laps to go, so I think that recovery is what did it for Farley. As the official margin of victory, 1.28 seconds over Trey Smith and 6.75 over Daniel Bouchard, who put up a valiant effort. 2 straight top 5s in a row for the 88 to start the season. Bouchard's having a not so bad start to the season as well. He could be a contender by the end of the season for this championship as well. So we'll take a look at your finishing results here for the Grand Prix of New England here at Lime Rock Park. Ethan Farley has won ahead of Trey Smith, Daniel Bouchard, BB Ruiz, Nathan Smith, Benny Watson, Mitchell Collins, William Brock, Nathan Baird, Ethan Lewis, and Charlie Davenport. And they were apparently the only cars finishing this race. And thankfully, none of the accidents that happened in this race seemed to have an effect on the battle for the win, with the exception of Braden Perez going off early in the race. But that benefited Ethan Farley as he got by, having started in the 2nd position here in this race, and he goes back to open up the 2021 Carquest Indy Racing League. So Chase, who won at the same place not too long ago in the Haas IndyCar Series, what do you make of the race we saw today?
I thought it was a great race. It was pretty chaotic. We saw some great battles for the lead. Again, as we expected, not much passing, but overall, I thought it was a really solid race and definitely quite a bit of chaos, but that's what you're going to get with Lime Rock Park.
And it was definitely had a little reading of strategy to it, and that's something I enjoy. I enjoy a lot of strategy, and Farley, I don't know if he undercut or what. I can't remember off the top of my head, but whatever pit strategy he did, y'all know at home, you watched this race. He made the right call. His crew made the right call, and they're in victory lane because of it. So congratulations to them, and best of luck to everyone the rest of this season. Daniel Bouchard, want to give him a special shout out here. 2 straight top 5s to open up the 2021 Carquest Indy Racing League. He was really down about the Scots National Series at Homestead, and really just this Scots National Series in general. He has not really had a lot of luck over there, but hey, best of luck to him the rest of the season over there. And here, he's off to a fantastic start with that 88 team, so looking forward to great things for Daniel Bouchard. And now, on behalf of Chase Harris and the entire NOFSRL, thank y'all so much for watching. We'll take a look at your point standings in just a second. And now, hope y'all have a good one. We'll see you in the next race at, I don't know where it is off the top of my head. So wherever the next race is, we'll see you then. It's at Kyalami, so now I know. So we'll see you next week at the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit for the Chevy Indy Kyalami. And until then, y'all have a good one.